Now, I suppose something we haven't really covered too much here is the whole idea of names for new residential areas and having them as Gaeilge or bilingual at least. And there's a new project which we're going to find out about now. I'm delighted to welcome Darren J. Pryor to the programme. Darren, you're welcome to us here on Connemara Community Radio.
Thanks very much, Breandán.
Darren, tell me a little bit about this project, www.info. What's this all about?
Well, just to let you know, first of all, it's not a new project. I updated it recently to a new website, but it started in 2009, actually.
Oh, wow.
And it took me a few weeks to do most of the research for the e-project, and since then, every few months I've been updating it, you know. So at the moment, there are not many houses getting built, new houses. But in some parts of Dublin, there are some, maybe in parts of Galway, I don't know. But recently I moved the project from a page on my blog. I moved it to a specific website, gnó.info. So the information's all there anyway, so I can tell you more. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, just why did you feel that this needed to be done? What was the background to deciding to do it?
Well, I remember I was in college in England for a year in 2003, 2004, and I was thinking, at that stage I was getting back into speaking the Irish language, because a few years after I left school I wasn't really speaking it. So I remember I was in a conversation circle in the Connolly Books shop in Dublin City Centre on Tunnel Dulles Shock, and I was talking to a fella, and he was working with an organisation voluntarily called Gael-Taca, who are based in Cork City. They have an office down there, and he said that their branch in Cork is having great success in persuading property developers and builders to get new residential areas named in Irish, you know. And I thought this was brilliant, so I wanted to be involved in it. So I joined Gael-Taca, and I was in Gael-Taca. I was working on that project of theirs. They still have the project, but a man by the name of Pádraig Ó Cuailnge was the managing director of Gael-Taca at the time, and he was the main person working on that. And me and a few others kind of helped him, but it was mainly his work. And Pádraig, I'm not in Gael-Taca anymore, and but Pádraig died in 2008. So the following year, I said, because I live in Dublin and there are not many residential areas that are named solely in Irish in Dublin or named bilingually. So I just started going through property websites like myhome.ie and daft.ie from around the country for the new developments, and the ones that were named in Irish, I'd get a photograph of them from the website and their name, and I just put them all together, and I have a slideshow now created for nearly every county in Ireland. And at the moment, you can see on the website that I started, gnó.info, that there are over 800 residential areas on the island of Ireland that are named solely in Irish. This is generally outside the Gael-Taca. There are some other ones who are named bilingually, a small number, and there are some counties, obviously, that haven't got many, like Dublin, proportionally anyway. Dublin, Kildare, Wicklow. Some other counties haven't got few, but then you have other counties, in particular Galway. As you know, there are loads in Galway, and there's loads in County Cork as opposed to the city. And even other counties that don't have Gael-Taca areas, there are a good few for the last 20 years named in Irish. A place like Leitrim, Kerry has a Gael-Taca, Donegal has a good few as well. Yeah, so there's over 800 residential areas named in 850 outside of Gael-Taca. So I think it's a great idea Pádraig had in Gael-Taca to work on this, and but the initiative goes back further to Galway City Councillors in the early 90s, bringing in the all-Irish language naming policy in the city, you know. So it's not Pádraig's idea. It wasn't Pádraig's idea, but I was glad to be involved to move it along a bit, you know.
And Darren, is it the local authorities that need to be contact with this, or is it the builders themselves, or the resident who actually needs to actually name the estates, I suppose?
usually what happens is the property developer, the builder, whatever you want to call them, tells the council what they want to call the area, and then the council has the authority to accept or reject that name. And I think often what happens is the council will, if the council don't think it's a good name, the council will tell the builder, we have a couple of suggestions for you. To be honest with you, the whole thing about the councillors or the council having the powers, that only came in the last 15 years or so. Before that, there were complaints about houses or developments occasionally getting called stupid English names, and that still happens sometimes around the country. But generally, the worst of those days are over. As I said, like occasionally one will slip through, because generally councils don't have a lot of time to be naming estates, and they usually go with what the developer wants. But it's the councils. And as regards Gael-Taca and Gaillimh le Gaeilge in Galway, they work with the councils and the property developers, I think, so it's both,
Yeah, because I know that here in Conamara there has been a few kind of local estates being built and things like that, and there was no real names being put on them, and I know a lot of the local people were trying to get together and getting suitable names, and some as Gaeilge and some not. But I don't think they got very far with all of it. I mean, I often wonder, are they kind of up against either the developer or the county council that they're not actually kind of coming on board with it?
Yeah, I don't know actually much about, like, are you saying that they haven't got any names in general for the areas?
Well, they just kind of used an old name for the area, but I mean it's an English name, but you know what I mean. They wanted to try and put on, I think bilingual names is what they were looking for, but it doesn't seem to have ever happened. I mean, if there needs to get something named like that, do the residents have to get together, a certain number of them, to try and push it through?
Well, I'm not sure about a particular case of what's going on in Conamara. That generally doesn't happen in Dublin. Generally, it's just between the property developer and the council. To be honest with you, actually, in Dublin, I presume it's the same in Galway and other places. In Dublin, there are 4 county councils, and they have online portals now on their website, where if a development is getting built or the council has a initiative or plan, people from the public can make submissions to the council on that specific development or plan or whatever's going on, Mm-hmm. So there's a plan. There's an area near where I live in Kellystown in Clonsilla, and that's going to be a fairly big residential area. The work hasn't even started getting built yet. So I made a submission in a personal capacity to Fingal County Council there recently on their portal, and so it takes people, individuals, not necessarily groups. It does help if you have a resident association behind you, I think, but it doesn't make a huge difference, I don't think. Just once there are submissions getting logged by the council, pointing at the direction, it does make a difference,
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Darren, if people are interested, either residents themselves or developers or whatever, how, if they go down to your site, do you make suggestions as to how they go about this, or suggestions as to what names they might call it, or what information do they find?
Well, I am with an Irish language organisation anymore, but the only one I'm with is Breandán. I'm a volunteer with them, but yeah, like, as I say to you, I'm not in an organisation. I'm just kind of displaying the names that are currently in use, that I have recorded. So, like, I don't want you to think I'm an expert on the matter in general. But there, like, if anyone is looking for names for calling areas, like, you can't use the same name twice in the one county, but I believe you can call a new area an Irish name that has been named in another part of the country. So, like, I've, as I said, over 850 names recorded on my e-project. So if any developers or builders or residents associations or residents of Conamara listen and want to contact the council, or if there's anyone even from the county council in Galway listening, I think my e-project is a good resource, you know.
Okay.
It isn't like it isn't. I don't want to think you think I'm an expert. I haven't got an expert service, or I'm not even totally. I'm fluent in Irish, but I'm not 100% fluent either. So it's just mainly to display the names that are currently new that I've come across, and to encourage the development around the country further, you know.
Okay. Well, Darren, Gnó Mhaigh Eo le bheith seán an chlár nacht agus ná habre agus beidir mai muidir caint faoi a ríseach tá beidir an sascrát an seán nacht, so slán agus benacht. Slán. That's Darren J. Pryor there, who's if you are either a developer or if you are somebody in a new residential area and it doesn't have a name, or the name is kind of as he said there, a very English name, you can always check out his site, and you see a whole list of the different names throughout Ireland. That's www.gaillimh.info. So that's www.gailge.info. So if you check it out, and you will get the information there on what other counties are doing, and you might find the name of a place that's very suitable. But of course, the big thing we should be doing around every area is finding the names of places where they're, you know, around the area itself here, and using the old Irish names for different places as well. So there's lots of scope there.